Thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. And we are on our final week 4 of the Every Bit Counts Challenge. Thank goodness. Now, this is put on by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead. She does it this time every year. It gives us a chance to clean out our freezers, our cupboards, our pantries, everything we have, so that we can get ready for the harvest that's to come. Also, too, after Christmas, when you're tired of spending all that money, gives you a chance to recoup just a little bit, but it's difficult. Now, I had to get some meat on week 1 because we don't raise our own livestock here. And I had to, on week 2, get some fruits and vegetables. But other than that, and a gallon of milk, that's all we've replenished. So what we're going to be working on in week 4 is my fruit. You know, we've eaten what we've wanted. I still have quite a bit. I need to do something with that before it goes bad. So I'm going to focus this week on making jams and stocking up on those using the fruit that I have before it goes bad. And we're going to throw in some other recipes too. So I appreciate you joining us, and let's go. It is a cold, rainy, dreary Saturday. So I decided it's time to start stocking up on my jellies and jams for the spring. And I thought I'd bring a little sunshine in. So I got a really good deal on lemons, and I'm going to make some lemon drop marmalade. So right now I've got my lemons boiling in about 3 cups of water, and those need to simmer for about an hour and a half. And then over here, I have diced up about 2 of the lemons into very thin slices, covered them with water, and they are going to simmer for about 30 minutes. As I'm cooking my lemon quarters, I've been pushing them down on and off with a potato masher because I want to get all of that lemon juice out that I can. I still have about 50 minutes left to cook here, but I wanted to show you that the liquid, you can see, starts getting pulpy and syrupy. It's okay that there's a seed in there because we're going to strain it, but the liquid starts getting a little thicker and it has the pulp of the lemon in there. It becomes like a syrup. But we still have almost an hour here to cook, and we'll keep pressing those down as we go. My lemon slices here have been boiling about a half an hour, so I'm going to transfer them to this glass bowl here. And I'm going to put a lid on those, and those are going to sit overnight. So now on day 2, I had let my lemon rind mixture sit out overnight along with the rinds and water. They sat out overnight as well. Both of them were covered. I've ran this through a sieve, so it is like applesauce now. So you get about a cup of the applesauce mixture that's lemon. Now we're going to mix the 2 and start adding our sugar. So to our lemons, I've added 5 cups of sugar, 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and we are going to bring this to a rolling boil. When it comes to a rolling boil, and that's a boil that doesn't stop, it just keeps going even after you stir it, we're going to bring it to a simmer and let it cook for about 45 minutes or until we reach 220 on our thermometer, which is the gelling stage. We are at a rolling boil now. As you see, when you stir, it doesn't quit boiling. So I'm going to turn the heat down and let this simmer about 45 minutes or until we get to 220. And I'm also going to add 1/2 teaspoon of butter, and that will help with the foam. When it comes time to skim our foam, we won't have as much. So I cook this to 220, and you can see on my cold plate here, it doesn't run like a runny liquid. It stays thick and doesn't drip, so we are at a really good point here that we can start canning. So I've sterilized my jars here, and we are going to fill those up 1/4 and leave 1/4 of an inch on top. You want to make sure that when you're making this jelly, you make sure that each jar has some of that beautiful rind in it. And I tell you, it tastes delicious. So now I'm going around the inside with my little rubber spatula here to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. We'll wipe the rims, and then we're going to process these in a hot water bath for 10 minutes. And today's jam is going to be strawberry rhubarb. So I've got about 5 cups of rhubarb that I froze from last year's harvest. And I've got it in my stainless steel pot here with 2 cups of strawberries. I've got 2 1/4 cups of sugar, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice, and I'm just going to let this cook down to the boiling point that I want for it to start gelling at 220. So now I'm at a rolling boil. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit. I'm going to want it to simmer until it gets to the temperature that I want. And I'm going to use my immersion blender to break everything up, just like applesauce. I'm going to add 1/2 of a teaspoon of butter to help with the foam. And then we're going to put it in our jars. For tonight's dinner, I found quite a few chicken breasts in the freezer, and I am going to put those in the oven at 350 until they're baked adequately, and we are going to have chicken and rice for dinner. I was so glad that I found some chicken breasts in the freezer that I can use for the next day or two. So I went ahead and I baked them for about 45 minutes, just until they weren't pink anymore. I went ahead and I made 3 cups of rice, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. What I love about this recipe is how easy it is. So into this, I'm going to add a few peas. Found those in the freezer too. The boys are eating in case you hear any slurping. And then to that, I'm going to add, remember, you want to always keep these on your shelf, a can of cream of celery soup, a can of cream of mushroom soup, and then we're going to add a can of cream of chicken soup. Now you can mix up your rice uncooked, your chicken uncooked, everything that way, mix it all up, put it in your casserole dish, but you're going to have to bake it a lot longer, like 1 hour and 45 minutes, until that rice and that chicken's done. I like doing it this way so it's faster. So now that I have this all together, I'm going to mix it up, and then we're going to put it in a greased casserole dish, 2-quart casserole dish. You can add corn, carrots, cheese, anything you want to this. I like to keep it simple. But now I'm going to put some butter on the top. Just dot it a little bit with butter. And you can see I'm going to have enough to put one in the freezer as well. So that's nice. So I've got some butter on the top here. And I've showed you guys how much I love to put potato chips on the top of my casseroles to give it some extra crunch. Now I've got my oven preheating to 350. Since everything here has already been pre-cooked, I'm only going to have to put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out. So here's tonight's dinner. It's chicken and rice with cream style corn. We are going to have bread, and this is so good that I made yesterday. Strawberry rhubarb jam. And I love that it doesn't have a ton of sugar, and it is delicious. So you can see it looks kind of like applesauce, but thicker. So that's dinner, a wonderful dinner for tonight when it's pretty chilly outside. And I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, just because you're doing this challenge doesn't mean your dinners have to be hard. Tonight, we just diced up some potatoes, some onions, some peppers for some color, and Spam. You cannot beat Spam. And we made a hash. We just fried it on a skillet until the potatoes were soft. And we're having that with green beans that are currently heating up. So don't try to make this too complicated. Go to your cupboard, look in your freezer, see what you have, and try to make dinner out of that. Tonight we made dinner super easy. We're having a salad with lots of fresh veggies with hamburger, cheese, and leftover bacon on top. In the spirit of every bit counts, I am making my own wax melts. I have these silicone ice cube trays here that I got at the dollar store. Plus I have a lot of other trays that I've collected at garage sales and thrift stores. And what I do is I take my old candles, I put a towel in the bottom of my pot, add a little bit of water, and I melt the bottom of my old candle there. Then I pour it in my smaller, it has a spout so it's easy to pour. And then I pour them in my little trays here. And I'll have my own wax melts. And that's not all. Then I take the containers, and they are in the dishwasher here. And that hot water will get all the wax off of them. And that'll give me a lot of jars to use for other crafts or to make other candles. Tonight we're having a real simple meal of Cajun marinated chicken breasts. You take 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons Cajun seasoning, and I use this Tony Cacciatore's, I think it's called, Cajun mix. 2 tablespoons Italian seasoning, 2 tablespoons lemon pepper, and some garlic powder if you like, and I just marinate that overnight. I'm going to put it in the oven at 350. It'll probably take about 45 minutes to reach 165 degrees internally. And we're going to have that with a real nice salad.